2021 is coming to a close, and it was a busy year up and down the coast. From intense rain and flooding to fires and drought to politics and a new name for Vandenberg. Here's a look back at some of the top local stories of 2021 as the year winds down.
This will be a day that will live in my mind in infamy.
The beginning of 2021 saw turmoil at our nation's capital, and local Congressman Salud Carbajal was there as it unfolded. He was among the many lawmakers and staffers who sheltered in place as pro-Trump rioters took control of the Capitol building. A House committee would go on to investigate the January 6th insurrection. Montecito marked 3 years since the deadly January 9th mudslide with a small ceremony at the fire station because of COVID restrictions. Months later, in July, the family of Jack Canton said the 17-year-old's remains had been located.
You know, what I tell people is love found Jack, and it was the love of all the people, whoever they were, who helped along the way.
His mother, Kim Canton, said the remains were found within 1,000 yards of the family's former home on Hot Springs Road in the debris path near the creek. At the end of January, an atmospheric river brought intense rain up and down the coast, leaving some communities nervous about the potential for another mudslide. Many areas received several inches of rain in a short time. Parts of Avila Beach flooded. Along the Gaviota coast, a woman was rescued after her car was trapped by floodwaters near Refugio State Beach.
Initial panic, and then second reaction was I need to call my dad.
From rain to drought, January's storm would be the last significant rainfall for the better part of the year. As local and state reservoir levels fell, water resource managers on the Central Coast urged people to cut back on water use. In July, Governor Newsom visited Lopez Lake in San Luis Obispo County to talk about the worsening conditions. Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, and Ventura counties all dipped into the extreme and exceptional drought categories on the U.S. Drought Monitor.
The charge against Paul Flores is murder.
2021 saw the most significant developments in the Kristen Smart case since the Cal Poly student first went missing in 1996. In April, Paul and Ruben Flores were arrested in connection with Smart's disappearance. Smart was last seen walking with Paul to her dorm after a party. Prosecutors accuse Paul of killing Smart during an attempted rape in his dorm room. Paul's father, Ruben, is accused of helping hide Smart's body for more than 2 decades. Both have pleaded not guilty. After a marathon 7-week-long preliminary hearing, a judge announced in October the case will head to trial. It's set to begin on April 25th, 2022. Tragedy struck the city of San Luis Obispo in May when 37-year-old police officer Detective Luca Benedetti was shot and killed in the line of duty. He was among several officers serving a search warrant at an apartment when the man inside opened fire. The gunman also died. A second officer was hurt.
The life of a hero. Luca was an amazing example of the best we have to offer.
Thousands paid their respects at a memorial service and procession for the fallen officer. Vandenberg launched into a new era of space exploration in 2021. In mid-May, the Air Force Base officially became Vandenberg Space Force Base. Space Force personnel are now known as Guardians instead of airmen, but the overall operations of the base didn't change much. We got an early taste of fire season in Santa Barbara on May 20th when the Loma fire broke out on TV Hill. We're on TV Hill in Santa Barbara. Trucks are coming. News Channel crews were among those evacuated in the 9-acre fire. While it wasn't massive in size, it was highly visible with large and intense flames burning up the hillside. A 23-year-old man was ultimately arrested on suspicion of starting the fire. In spring, the COVID vaccine rollout ramped up across the central and south coasts. And on June 15th, California fully reopened. Restrictions on masking, capacity, and physical distancing were eased, but it would be short-lived for some of those rules. As cases spiked again, mask mandates returned. Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, and Ventura counties all have indoor masking mandates to this day. As tension over the pandemic response grew across California, so too did the recall effort against Governor Gavin Newsom. The campaign gained enough signatures to get the recall on the ballot, leading to a special election in September. But the effort would not succeed. Governor Newsom became the second governor in U.S. history to defeat a recall, beating it by a significant margin. Just a month and a half later, another election on the South Coast. Voters decided on new leadership, electing former city councilman Randy Rouse to replace incumbent mayor Kathy Murillo.
Our focus will all be on Santa Barbara, not on some other, race or some other political issues.
The UCSB housing crisis reached a tipping point in the fall. Amid a shortage of housing and students living in local hotel rooms, the university unveiled plans for a controversial mega dorm. It would create about 4,500 rooms, mostly without windows.
Oh, that's like prison.
The university defended the project, saying it would address the need for more housing. Not long after, the city of Goleta said it would file a lawsuit against the university for not providing enough student housing for its rapidly growing campus population. The university said it was disappointed in the response from Goleta. In early October, another more significant dose of fire season along the Gaviota coast. The Aliso Fire broke out the afternoon of October 11th. The winds were so intense, aircraft couldn't launch until the next day.
It's just a perfect storm of a fire that's going to be very challenging to contain.
The fire quickly burned from the mountains and canyons all the way down to Highway 101. The fire would go on to burn nearly 17,000 acres. Just as crews were getting the fire contained, another storm moved over the region, bringing measurable rain. A flash flood warning was issued, and people in the burn scar were told to shelter in place, but thankfully the rain did not end up being a threat. As 2021 was winding down, the Aliso Fire was officially declared out in the beginning of December. I'm News Channel reporter Scott Hennessy.